you've been going hard for a couple of years now, man. This is the first time I've seen you guys really. You guys are doing a couple things here and there, but this is the I think the longest I've seen you without a whole lot of heavy touring going on.
Yeah, it's nice. We try to stay busy, even if we're not on tour, we're always working on songs and plus,
Hmm.
solo stuff too. So I'm working extra hard.
Right, right, dude. I've been listening to the album, the Infinity Now, dude. I've listened to this thing like three times today.
Oh wow.
Um, yeah, actually, I was listening to it before you logged on. I was listening to Headspace Holiday again, and dude, that this album. Last time I talked to you was about 3 years ago, before the last full length came out. Not too long before that, around the time, and here we are again. A new album is about to come out. What, beginning of May? Couple months.
Yeah, May 3rd. Yeah, dude, first off, thank you so much for checking it out, man. I really appreciate it. And obviously, yeah, man, 3 years later, thank you so much for having me yet again. And yeah, thanks for giving me this platform to spread the word and yeah, get the music out there.
Of course, man. The record is there's a couple of songs on there that I feel like Breaking Benjamin fans are gonna really love. Headspace Holiday being one of them. But I feel like you really, really made an effort to switch it up. And there's a lot of obviously rock songs, but there's some elements on there that maybe you don't get to use or include when you were doing a Breaking Benjamin album or song. It's a very unique album. Even the first couple songs, you can tell like this is different. Was that a conscious effort that you wanted to make it a little bit different than what you're doing with breaking?
People ask me, they've asked me before, kind of, when I'm going into writing a song, do I know ahead of time, am I writing something for Breaking Band or is it for something else? And I mean, for the most part, I do kind of go in there with, something in mind, like, hey, this is what I'm kind of going for. This is the project in mind. But
Mhm.
I think with my solo stuff in particular, I try not to think about I want to sound like this or that. I just try to write something that I think sounds cool, and then on the other side of that, talk about stuff that maybe I wouldn't talk about normally or want to write about normally. I mean, obviously, you want something to kind of connect with people and feel like people can relate to what you're saying. So, I mean, I always kind of try to keep that in mind too. But for the most part, I'm just kind of writing from my heart and saying what I want to say, whether it's something that I've experienced or something that I'm going through or that I'm noticing just with
Right.
this crazy journey that we're all on called life. It can be very inspiring for multitude of reasons, both negative and positive. So I try to focus on things that are more positive and then if it is something that's hard, to kind of talk about, I hope that we can all kind of put our arms around one another and say, hey, man, I commiserate with that, and we've all been through some tough times, and we're going to make it out together. So that's kind of what I try to focus on.
Is that kind of what Dear Father seems like that's a song that you're referring to a lot with what you just talked about. Was that a tough song to write and put together and put out there? Because it's I feel like it's kind of dark.
Yeah, it was hard. It's like you think about loved ones that you've lost over the years, in this particular case, my father. I want to believe that even though he's been gone for over 20 years, you want to believe that they're still kind of keeping an eye on you and seeing everything that you're doing in your life and being proud of you, so that's kind of what I was kind of thinking with that song. And even a more wider kind of perspective there with that song too, that there was a thing that I went through. I took this psychedelic drug called ayahuasca.
Oh, I've heard about that.
Yeah, probably about 9 years, almost, yeah, 10 years ago almost. And and man, just went. I mean, it was a journey. I saw all kinds of crazy stuff crazy things. There was a shaman there. She was kind of guiding our little group kind of through this whole experience. And there's lots of things that I kind of recalled during the writing of this album that I was able to kind of
Hmm.
tap into, and even Dear Father was one of them. There was a part in this psychedelic journey I was having. Yeah, granted, I know this sounds out there, but yeah, I was kind of waiting for this drug to kind of take effect, and I'm not a big drug person. I'm not a doctor. Disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. Uh, yeah, it was an interesting thing, and at one point I felt like I was having some sort of interaction with what I perceived to be possibly my father, and on the other side of time and
Oh my
space.
God.
And so at this point, I just felt like this amazing just wave of gratitude, and just so thankful that I decided to kind of try this kind of thing, this experience. And so it really inspired me. I mean, that was one kind of you know area that I kind of like thought about. Even a line in the song like, I see your silhouette through time and space. That's
Hmm.
very much right. That is like from what I actually saw, like in this trip.
Oh
So,
wow.
and then other songs too. There's I mean, gosh, yeah, Crown of Thorns. Don't Fall Asleep, The Wolf,
Yeah.
Infinity. All of them. That it's all things that I kind of that kind of inspired me from that whole thing. And then plus, everything that has happened from then until now that I've experienced in life. And so I try to soak up everything and
Right.
use it somehow in a later time.
Right. The Wolf is one that really stands out to me because the last time I saw you live solo was an acoustic show here in Indianapolis at the Hoosier Dome. And I know
Wow,
you, yes,
coming to
yes.
that, I remember that
That
show.
was
Yeah.
that was a fun show. It was really, really cool and really unique. And I know you've also been doing acoustic sets opening for Breaking Benj, pulling double duty there. So a lot of your live stuff lately has been acoustic. And I feel like The Wolf was the style, the acoustic route of that. I feel like just the aura of that song, is like a sit down, light some candles, chill, and just get into your vibe, song is that's just how I pictured that one coming together.
Yeah, for sure. I was, and with a lot of the songs on this album, I was really fortunate enough to be able to get in the room with just amazing, talented, just like some of the best songwriters in the world, and really just kind of see what we could come up with. And that was one of those collaborations with Austin Niverell and Drew Kennedy on that song. And
Nice.
yeah, man, it was really just I'm really excited about that one. I'm excited for that one to come out, and
Hmm.
I actually just shot a video for that one this
Ooh.
this past week, and so
Oh.
yeah, I'm super excited. So, but yeah, man, I've been doing a lot of these kind of acoustic shows
Hmm.
here recently. I mean, the one that was a year or so ago at the Hoosier
Yeah.
Dome. Thanks again for coming to that.
Oh
That was
yeah.
but yeah, and just this last month, Breaking Ben, we had an acoustic tour, and then I ended up kind of opening those shows acoustic. But no bones about it. My sound and what I really want to kind of portray is uh, how it sounds on the record with a full band, electric.
Ooh.
I think lots of people, because I've played so many acoustic shows lately, they think I'm kind of like the solo one man acoustic guy, But I got a
You're
band, and
not.
we've played some shows, we've done some tours, and
Nice.
there's gonna be more tours and shows with the full band coming up. So super thrilled for
Yeah.
that. So yeah.
Don't Fall Asleep, man, is one of my favorite ones because it's almost like a hypnotic, transic, just rhythm. It's so just such a special song. Just like
Thank you.
I've listened to that one probably 5 or 6 times so far, and it really stands out because rhythmically it's so different than everything else on the record. How much fun was that one to put together, and how complex is that one for you when you really sit down and listen to the, because you hear it in the layers that we don't always hear it in, and you see the whole process.
Sure, that one was actually one of the very last ones that I wrote before I went into record, and I wasn't even sure that that was going to be one that made the cut, but I really just, I don't know, I just liked it. It just, I mean, I wrote it really fast. Even the drum sounds, the intro, kind of, the drum
Yeah,
sound it had, I created that in the demo and everything. It's really similar to how it sounds in the demo, and we were able to kind of recreate it pretty exactly. Um,
nice,
so yeah, I was really kind of lobbying for that one to make the album.
nice.
Um, and yeah, I'm really stoked how it turned out, and it's kind of my wheelhouse. There's kind of the little creepy,
Yeah,
trance kind of thing that you described, but
yeah.
also, I really love how the chorus sounds. I love the chorus melody, and
Hmm.
yeah, man, I was stoked. So man, I appreciate it.
Oh
I
yeah.
yeah.
Was there anything with This World or the Next? 'Cause that was your solo, really full-length debut. Was there anything on that record that really worked for you that you wanted to really do again? That's like, okay, that was perfect. Was there anything that really you're like, man, let's not go down that road again, or it didn't really work, but what stood out about that record compared to this one for you?
That's a good question. Yeah, I really, I want to try to kind of, you know, stick to things that I feel like that's in my wheelhouse that I'm good at, both, you know, voice range and all that stuff. I try to kind of keep in the same thing, but not really. I don't think I really was like I want to try and avoid doing this or try to do more of this. I think that I don't know. I like something when I hear it sometimes, and I don't really think too hard about like, oh, I need to recreate this kind of thing. I kind of I don't know. I think just the way I write and the way my voice sounds, I think things would just kind of sound like me anyway. I've heard people say that I have certain signature things that people can tell, like, oh, Keith wrote that song or whatever. Which
Hmm.
so I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but
It's a
um,
bad thing. Like, I don't think it's a bad thing at all. Actually, there's a couple of spots on the record where I feel like there's similarities between you and Ben vocally, and I don't know if that's because that's because you've spent 10 years with the guy now, or whatnot. I know Zach Wild has a lot of Ozzy similarities in his vocals as well, so I don't know if that's because you guys are just together so much, but there's some similarities there I kind of noticed as well. I don't know if you picked up on that at all. Um,
I I have not. And honestly, I hate hearing that. I hate hearing people
Dude,
say,
I'm sorry. I'm
"Well,
so
no,
sorry.
oh no." I mean, you're just being honest. I've read that online, and
Really?
I feel well. Not very often.
Okay.
Occasionally, someone will say something like, "This sounds like Breaking Ben," and I'm like, it doesn't sound anything like Breaking Ben, in my opinion. I mean, my
Yeah.
voice sounds different from Ben.
Hmm. Yeah.
Uh, so
Musically, it's very different. This is not anything like what you would hear from Breaking Benjamin in any way whatsoever, except maybe Headspace is musically a little similar, but like musically, this is not anywhere near what a Breaking Benjamin record would sound like. It's a very different listening experience, I feel like.
sure,
Um,
I would agree. I think
yeah.
where you find similarities, you're coming from a place of appreciation. I think a lot of
Mhm.
people when
Yeah.
they're posting online, or a few people that I've seen, I think they're coming from a place of just being a dickhead.
Oh God, no, I would never do that. No,
Yeah,
never,
no,
never.
like when I read some of the way they say it, and you're just like, man,
Mhm.
you have nothing better to do to just try to pick something apart or find some kind of. That's just the
Yeah,
internet. That's the internet these days. But no, man,
yeah.
I really appreciate, man. I appreciate you
Mhm.
you checking it out and
Yeah, I mean, I see, I kind of see what you're talking about. I work in with a pro wrestling company here in Indy. We have a tag
yeah,
team. They're twins. They're African American twin brothers, and so by default, whenever we do live shows somewhere, there's one fan that's like, they're an Usos ripoff because there's a WWE tag team of twin brothers. We're like,
yeah,
they're nothing alike. They're
right,
nothing alike. Wrestling style, nothing similar at all.
yeah.
But so I kind of. and we're like, separate the two. They're not alike at
Absolutely.
all.
Absolutely, dude. That is a great example, and I,
Yeah.
I think that, hey, if I wasn't in Breaking Benjamin, I don't know if people would make the comparison. I think that just by association, sometimes I kind of get that kind of thing. But
Mhm.
and that being said too, I really try hard not to uh, dilute uh,
Yeah.
Breaking Benjamin's brand, and I don't try to dilute my brand with whatever, because it's like, I never want it to seem like I'm just riding on the coattails of Breaking Benjamin, or, I want to, whatever success I have on the side or whatever, I want it to be on its own merit, and
Hmm.
what, so.
Right.
But
And
that
which
being said,
is, yeah.
yeah, no, that being said, all the guys in Break It Ben could not be more supportive of my stuff, and I'm just so grateful for them, and of obviously all the Breaking Benjamin fans. The ones
Mhm.
that get it. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, this is his own thing. This is great. He's going to want to sing stuff that he wants to sing about and say stuff
Hmm.
he wants to talk about. And but that being said, I love Breaking Benjamin too, man. It's
Yeah.
my thing. So there's a universe, and we're living in it right now, where both of those things can exist, but sometimes people don't get it.
Right. See, I'm a huge Skillet fan, and I love John Cooper's Fight the Fury side project because it's
Exactly.
so different, and it's what I've been wanting him to do. Just let it loose and get heavy. So
Yeah.
for you, I asked him this question. I'll ask you the same thing. What is your favorite part about writing for a project that is not Breaking Benjamin, where it is yours, it is your name, it is Keith, and it's off to the side. It's different. What are some of your favorite things about that?
Well, I like the pressure that comes with it, because I know, like it or not, because I am in Breaking Benjamin, and if I have some kind of separate release, I know that there's going to be eyes on it to some degree, and there's a lot of pressure, and people are going to make comparisons, and they're going to, whatever. So it's but I like that. I like the pressure, and it's pressure, but it's not. It's kind of like, hey, I put enough pressure on myself to make sure that something's sounds good, or but at the end of the day, man, I really just try to make music that I like and that I want to hear, and then hopefully just people like it too, and if they don't, that's cool too. Hey man, it's there's going to be another day, there's going to be another album, there's going to be another song. There's
Mhm.
I don't know. I just really I want to make as much music as I can while I'm alive on this earth, whether it be with Breaking Band or my solo stuff, or writing with some other people.
Yeah.
Kind of my thing, man. Life's short, so might as well just go for it.
What was it like working with Wes Cage? Because his music is very, very cool. What was that process like?
Yeah, that kind of came about through my publishing company. They kind of told me about
Okay.
Wes, and they were like, "Hey, Wes is he's kind of had some music history. He's put some stuff out before that was kind of a different sound. Would you want to
Mhm.
write with him?" I'm like, "Sure, man." And like I said, I'm just trying to write as much as I can. And
Right.
yeah, so it was during the pandemic, and we did some Zoom sessions and
Nice.
kind of brainstormed on some ideas, and I recorded a few demos and sent them in, and then and he re-recorded them, and yeah, so yeah, it's
Nice.
funny. He's got a song. We wrote a song called "The Wolf."
Well, that's you.
Yeah, so I have two songs now that I've written that's called "The Wolf."
It's true.
I'm,
Oh my God, I
I'm
remember when
yeah, I'm just
I had
feeling
no idea.
wolfy, I guess.
I had no idea that you were part of that one. I love that song. Like when I got that sent that a while back, I was like, this is really good.
Awesome.
Like, man, that's does it feel does it feel like you're coming up on 10 years with Breaking Men? Because it doesn't feel like it's been 9 years since that record came out at all. It doesn't feel like sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, it's mind blowing to me. We were just talking about that this last tour. We were just like, it's been 10 years.
Yeah,
But the fact that it doesn't seem like 10 years means that it's a great time, and it's a happy time, and it's gone by in a flash. So
yeah.
all the good things kind of go by quickly. So
Do you remember what that time was like coming into that band? Because it's a completely different lineup, and all of you guys have been in the band this whole time. No lineup changes at all since you guys all joined the band. You remember what that time was like just coming in?
I do. It was, I mean, super exciting. I think, the album was done, all the songs were recorded, the pictures were done. It was kind of like when when the cat was out of the bag, it was like, boom, here's the album, here's everything. And it was just like really cool to be a part of that. I mean, I'll never forget it. I mean, to have a number one song or number one album on Billboard, in the first week with, and especially being a rock band and stuff, it was just like, holy cow,
Right.
this is sick. But like I said before, the fans embraced all of us new guys, and my solo music, and I mean even us just in the band itself. They just really were amazing and just welcomed us with open arms. And
Nice. Yeah, it's such a really such a dedicated. Some bands have that fan base where it's a different level. And I know my cousin out in Iowa, they are die hard Breaking Benjamin. I think they've seen you guys like 45 times or something like that. And so they are just good God, die hard fans. And so your guys' fans, man, they take it to another level. Like it is crazy. It's like an army. It's like the Kiss Army. It's insane how dedicated your guys' fans are. Like
it is. Yeah. I mean, you said it, man. It
yeah.
really is, and it's really just, it's kind of like one big family,
Yeah.
because I mean, I can speak for the rest of the band here with this. I mean, we would be nothing without the fans, and especially after the hiatus that was, there back in the day, now it's 10 years ago, now like to come back, just all guns firing. I mean, it was just so cool. And then here we
Yeah.
are 10 years into it. There's still, just as rabid as ever for new music
Yeah.
and shows, and so we're just grateful. We're grateful to be, out here making music and touring, and to have a career. So
Mhm.
yeah, we're gonna just keep at it as long as we can.
Last breaking question before I get back to the solo stuff. I haven't seen a summer tour announcement go out yet. Does this mean summer is off and maybe there's a record coming at some point? Without giving too much info out that you can't,
Right.
obviously. No.
Right. No, I think that, I could tell you, but I have to
Please
kill you
don't
with
kill me.
nah. No, man. Yeah, dude, we're working on tunes. We're always
Okay.
working on tunes. I think, you can't rush it. You really want to
Yes.
make sure it's great. And I think, I want to believe the fans can understand that too. You don't want to just rush something out. I mean, granted,
Yep.
it's been a minute, it's been a while, I know. But we want to feel good about it, and we want to put our best foot forward, and record and release the best music we can.
Yep.
But in the meantime, yeah, I think we've got some tours in the books coming
Summer
up.
festivals. Festivals are
Yeah,
coming up.
we got some festivals. We just
Yep.
announced a few, and yeah, I'd say there's probably maybe some more stuff on the horizon that
Okay.
I'm sure it will all come to light in due time.
Anyway, yeah. Going back to Infinity now, man, it's such a unique collection of music. Looking back at the final product, man, what are you the most proud of, or what are a couple things that you're proud of when you sit back and listen to it? And how often do you listen to the final album? Because a lot of artists don't listen to their own music.
Yeah, I think, obviously once you get through the mixing process, the mastering process, you've heard the songs and recordings hundreds of times, to really kind of make sure everything's sounding the way you want it to. And then there's another process where you got to listen to it, and that's when you're learning and kind of going through all the parts to learn to play live. Uh,
Mhm.
so yeah, we went through that before Shiprock. We kind of, dissected the songs. Hey, who's playing
Mhm.
what? How are we going to sing this? How are we going to switch back? Whatever. And but man, I just, as far as being just a specific thing that I'm proud of, I'm just proud to just be here, man. I'm just happy to be here and to just be able to make an album and to be able to and then go out and perform it live and get out there and meet as many people as I can. So yeah, man, I try to look at everything just through the eyes of just gratitude. I really am thankful to be here. Um, and yeah, man, like we all lived through the pandemic. We all saw that, like, hey, man, this lots of things we hold dear can be taken away, and
Hmm.
so to be back at a place where, like, hey, everything is just like running smoothly, and people are having parties and concerts.
Yeah.
I'm super grateful just to be making music in the first place.
Yeah, I feel like we all took it for granted. Like music and concerts was like the one thing that nobody ever thought was gonna go away. It is like, all of a sudden there's not pandemic interviews were the hardest thing ever because there's no like, what's the tour look like? What are we doing? Like it's all everyone was like, well, just sit back and wait, Like it was, and I think even interviewing you about the last record, like it was still mid-pandemic when that was going on.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I mean you know, there
It
was no
sucked.
there was no guarantee that shit would ever come back. That's the
Yeah,
hard part. It'd be one thing.
yeah,
It's like, all right, at this date it's coming back. You gotta have to wait. But there was no
yeah,
future date given of things opening up. So it was awful. It was awful for everybody. Obviously, there's people that
yeah,
lost lives. There are way more, maybe way more worse things than
yeah.
being a musician waiting for it to come back. So
Do
I try
you
not.
do you remember what the first moment taking the stage was like for you after everything kind of started going back up? Maybe that first amphitheater show, or because for me it was the first concert back, that first note, as soon as the lights went down, it was emotional for me. And I don't even do it on a nightly basis like you guys do.
Yeah, that's a great description. It really was emotional. Yeah, man, it was like, holy shit, I can't believe we're back. And
Yeah.
just emotional. It really was, but powerful, just again, just overwhelming gratitude to just be back doing what I love and having a career again. So yeah.
It's awesome, man. Solo wise, what does 2024 look like for you? Because you got the Infinity Now coming out in
Yeah.
just a couple months, month and a half now,
Mhm.
2.5 months, I guess. But like, what does this year look like for you as a solo artist?
Yeah, I think more of the same. I think I'm gonna jump on any shows, every show, everything I can to get
Yes.
out there. Obviously, in between Breaking Benjamin tours and Breaking Benjamin shows and festivals, uh, really gonna try to just get out there, man, and see as many people as I can, and
Yeah.
get the music out. I think that as much as I've worked hard to try to promote myself and make people aware of um myself as a solo artist, it's harder than you would think to kind of be seen outside and out from under the Breaking Benjamin kind of shadow, if you will.
Sure.
It's I don't know. I think maybe some people kind of just dismiss it. They're kind of like, oh, he's got a soul, so whatever. I don't really care. So it's and other side of that, some people are just I'll tell them about it, or I'll see a comment online. They're like, I had no idea that you made your own music, and this is so great. How does this not have a billion stream? And I'm just like, I don't know, but please, I wish there was a million more of you to
You're like,
listen.
I feel the same way. I've been asking the same question. You're right.
I mean, shit, dude. It always just kind of tells me that, hey, man, this I need to just be exposed more. I need more exposure, and obviously now with this album, having a partnership with Rise
Yeah.
Records, it's going to be more exposure. So it's really great. I mean, obviously it's a grind because there's still a lot of people that have never heard of me. They're not aware, and so it's my job to get out there and just make them aware and just say, hey, here's some tunes. Hope you like them, and come out and hang with us on some shows.
That's my job too, man. Get the word out. This stuff is good. Listen to it. What I'm putting in my review, man, is you really took the opportunity to spread your wings artistically on this and really show that you could do more than just straight just rock and roll. There's so many styles, so many different things on this record, and no two songs sound the same. You fucking killed it, man.
Thank
It's
you. Thank you.
so good. I can't wait till I get the download so I can put it on my phone and not have to stream it. So
I
it is
appreciate that, man.
absolutely, man. And to wrap it up, man, I just want to tell you that both times I've spoken with you and seen you live, you are one of the most genuine, polite, genuine, nice guys that I've ever met, interviewed, spent time around, man. Thank you, because you don't have to be that way at all. And Yep, you're just a good dude. I think the last time I interviewed you, you were about to go on like a camping trip or a fishing trip or on a vacation or something somewhere. And I was like the last interview before you left, and you were absolutely awesome, man. So
Ah,
thank you for always being just such a good guy.
thank you, man. I appreciate
Oh,
that. Anytime. And again, like seriously, thank you so much for just having me and giving me a platform to talk about myself.
that's what this is about. It's your spotlight, man. And anything I can ever do to help you out, because music is what keeps us going. Music has saved my life so many times and got me through some of the hardest stuff, man.
Thank you.
Whether it's listening to it or just going to rock shows are so therapeutic, man. And whether it's solo or with breaking, man, you always put on a great show and a chance to just let it out. So
Thank you,
thank you
brother.
so much, man.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, have a great 2024. Stay safe on the road. Enjoy the record release because it's going to come up soon, man. And we'll talk again soon, and I'll see you out on the road.
Dude, looking forward to it. Again, follow me on Instagram at KJ Wallen. I got all my stuffs on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, the whole thing, even TikTok. I'm even shaking my tuchus on
Ooh.
TikTok. I know, right? I'm like the
Oh,
old. But yeah, thank you so much, man,
you bet.
and everybody watching and listening. Much love to all y'all. Thank you, man.
Check out Infinity Now, guys. It's coming out soon. Keith, we'll check you out soon.